why is this human here in the world now? And what is the point of this human expression? And we can say from the absolute level, it is simply a play of life expressing and experiencing itself as itself, and that it is all of equal value, of equal meaning, and from the absolute, there is no preference for one thing over another. It is simply life expressing itself just the way it is. And within that, there is the dance of expression of this particular human. And as we see more and more that there is no separate me directing anything, that there is no separate me with control over my life that is separate from life itself. We are more and more in alignment with life itself. So I'm not separate. My volition is not separate from life. It's not that I want my own journey from, based on my thoughts of where I think I, should go, or what I would like to achieve for my personal gain in life. But that as we see that there is no separate me here, then the question is more, how does life want to express itself through this human? So in a way, it's like I, as this separate me, steps aside, so that it can be more obvious where and how life itself wants to use the expression of this human. And in doing so, we start to notice all the subtle ways, and perhaps not so subtle ways, where these me's, or these little identities, want to take control and want to direct things, or want to get in the way, and how, for example, how we stop ourselves from showing up, from showing ourselves, exposing ourselves, from being who and what life wants us to be, how life wants to express itself through these humans. Can be that there are all kinds of little ways where we are still kind of blocking or holding back or protecting ourselves, right? Trying to control the flow of life as it wants to express itself in the world as this human flavor. And we have good reason, of course, for these protection mechanisms where we are trying to stop ourselves. Perhaps we have experienced times in our lives where we have shown up more, where we have innocently expressed whatever feels real for us in the moment. And perhaps it was met by a frightening reaction, a threatening reaction, or consequence. And so we learnt then to shut down and say, well, actually, it's not safe to show up. Right? It's not safe to just be me. And when I say me, in this case, I'm not talking about this separate me. I'm talking about the natural expression of life itself as this human. And, so then we go through life kind of shutting down and holding back. And I feel that this journey of waking up more and more to what is true, what is real, and to living as that in the world, in this human expression, it is about taking the risk again to open up, to show up, to show ourselves, and to risk everything that might happen, anything that we might be afraid of. And it doesn't mean that we have to risk everything all at once, but even in tiny little small steps, it can feel like a big risk, even with small steps. So, and it's uniquely different for everybody, right? Everybody has their own ways. We all have our ways where we are holding back. And we know what they are, right? We already know how we would love to express ourselves. We already know what life wants us to do, or how life wants us to dance itself in the world. And we already know how we are stopping ourselves, stopping that natural flow. We already feel the contraction or the fear where we are holding back. And so once again, it is about courage. And again, that courage means something different for everybody. And it's up to you to feel into where in your experience, in your human life, where you feel that you can take a little courageous step to show yourself out there in the world a little bit more, to be yourself a little bit more out there. Maybe it's just sharing how you feel a bit more to your friends or family. Maybe it is showing and sharing your creativity in some way. Maybe it is saying, this is not okay about whatever is happening. Maybe it's putting some kind of boundary and saying, actually, for me, this is not right. This doesn't feel right. Maybe it's noticing where you have been doing things to please others. And although that looks good and looks nice, actually, you are stopping your natural flow. How life wants to dance itself might not fit in with others. So, however it is, however it shows up for you, it is an invitation. And I'm speaking to myself right now, right? For this Unmani human, right? I'm inviting her also to keep showing up. And it can be really scary, right? It can be, it can feel like, you expose yourself to rejection, to abandonment, to attack, to all kinds of threat. Usually it's more in our minds, right, than what will actually happen in the world. But it can also be that it will actually provoke some kind of negative response from the world, from people around us. And it's uncomfortable to deal with that. It can be very scary. But at the same time, when we don't show ourselves in the way that we long to, when we don't dance our dance, we are also hurting ourselves. Right? It's also painful. It might be a pain that we just kind of got used to. It can almost feel like a comfort zone that we're so used to that it can kind of feel comfortable, but it's not comfortable. It's only comfortable because it's familiar. It's so familiar because you've been behaving like that for probably most of your life. But when we really feel into it, it's really, really painful to keep ourselves small, to hold back, to hide. And actually, when we do take that risk to show up, to show our vulnerability, to be more authentically this particular flavor of human, whatever it is, it might be crazy, it might be strange, weird, completely out of the box, it might be shocking, and whatever it is, even in small ways, when we do show up more, it also feels so good, feels so right. It feels so in alignment. We can feel that it's got nothing to do with this separate me and my personal will. It just feels like, yeah, this feels right. Like I'm stepping out of the way. I'm not being this small me anymore. I'm letting life dance its dance. And the more we do that, the more it feels good. And the more we do that, right? It just snowballs, or it can snowball. So I know in a way you will know this because it's about, this sense of knowing, right? We know where we are holding back. We know what we are most deeply longing to do or express. But right now, I just feel to consciously and out loud invite us all to step more and more into that. I invite myself to step more into showing up just as I am, as this human wants to show herself just the way she is. And I know that from past experience of doing that, mostly it was met with a welcome response. Of course, we never know, and it's always a risk. It might not be. It is about walking that thin line between the two pains, in a way, the pain of not showing up and the pain of keeping myself small. And then on the other side, the pain of possible threat and rejection or abandonment or attack or whatever. It is a thin line, and it's about being sensitive to ourselves, not pushing ourselves to always, expose ourselves at every minute. There's no need to be harsh, but at the same time, noticing where we can actually invite ourselves to step out more. Yeah, and it's a fresh thing, it's about staying fresh with it, moment to moment, because what feels like stepping out of a comfort zone now, tomorrow or in the next moment or in the next month might feel like just a comfort zone again. And we have to look fresh again and keep stepping out of these comfort zones, because life is always so alive and fresh, right? Whereas the mind just wants to kind of curl up in a little ball and kind of stay with what we know, stay safe, right? And it will keep doing that. So as soon as we try something new, it will kind of want to make that the norm now. And then, okay, let's just curl up in a little ball and stay safe with that now. This is me, right? This is the small me. But again, after a while, we have to question that too. And this is what it is to be naked and vulnerable in life, to keep meeting the ways where we are staying safe. To keep meeting life fresh, to keep coming alive courageously.